What are signs someone is a horrible person deep down? Constantly talking shit about whatever friends are not present at the time. How dare you be mad I did something horrible? They use intimate vulnerable things you share with them against you. Only being nice to people who can be useful to them. Diane's quote from Bojack is great, that's the thing. I don't think I believe in deep down. I kinda think all you are is just the things that you do. Sometimes there are none. When they love making other people look bad, constantly calling people out, putting others down, disrespecting hospitality workers, lack of accountability. It's always someone else's fault. They are proud of their trashy behaviors. Everywhere is their personal trash can. Choosing beggar. Attention seeker. Thinks that everyone owes them everything. Is only kind to others when cameras are present. Treats service employees as second-class people. Turns people against other people. Everything is about something polarizing to them. Someone who isn't willing to change or grow. They don't take accountability and blame others. If they don't respect boundaries, and also generally how they act in conflicts with others. How they treat people who are below them. They don't change as a person because they claim that people have to accept them for who they are, even if they are horrible human beings. They blame everyone but themselves, do mental somersaults to avoid acknowledging a mistake. Every interaction with them feels passive-aggressive to the point you wonder if they're just not capable of anything genuine. They never own up to anything they did and manipulate others. People who talk shit behind everyone's back. Observe how they treat animals and people who can't defend themselves properly, children as well. Never questioning if they're a bad person, lol. They literally don't care about how they hurt someone. Here to see if I'm horrible. How they treat animals. Dogs, cats, wildlife. I have been in the car with people who actively try to hit any animal they see crossing the street. That kind of shit. Kicking someone when they're down, either literally or figuratively. When they gaslight you or manipulate you into questioning your reality. And then you react, and it seems as though you're the bad guy. The mind games aren't funny, just a sanity fuck. And if you're going to fuck around, best believe you will find out. They are willing to hurt others in any way for their own personal benefit. A big one is how they treat service people, waiters, delivery people, etc. They increase the price of remote raid passes. The way they treat people that they have some form of temporary power over, like waitstaff, retail workers, etc. If they treat them like shit, just remember that, at some point, you could be downgraded to the help too. Entitlement. They are loud about how good they are. Parental tampering. Any parent that would leverage a child against the other parent, or use visitation as a punishment reward system is nigh unforgivable. I witnessed my mother shoplifting from the gift shop of the non-profit that I work for. Last straw for me after decades of shitty behavior on her part. Haven't spoken to her in 4 years and my mental health is better for it. They follow the Dennis system. Transactional view of relationships. I had a friend who was once asked why he was friends with someone. "What do you mean why? He's just my friend," was the response. And the person said, "Yeah, but you don't get anything out of it." Yeah. They always talk about themselves and hardly ask anything about you. They're stubborn and selfish. They never compromise on anything. Everything is about them. Obviously, there's a good way to be stubborn. But, I'm talking about the selfish kind of stubborn. They use children to commit crimes. They find something negative to say to every single positive thing you tell them. People who have a lot of crazy exes are a big red flag. They litter. Displaying no empathy or care for anyone other than themselves. They don't put their cart back into the return. Victimizing themselves by any all means necessary in order to avoid any and all accountability. Furthermore, who they are willing to harm, throw under the bus, knock down in order to do so. Most of the time you won't notice the signs, which is unfortunate, but one big one I've noticed is people who always have a victim mentality, like it's always everyone else's issue for why they have problems. I met a girl online who said we were too pretty to work. We shouldn't have to try or chase men, and that ugly girls can chase guys and work. I realized then how stupid and horrible she was. She also is proud of herself for cheating on her BF with multiple men and is marrying him just for his money. Skull. The shopping cart litmus test. Everyone knows taking your shopping cart to the return is the right thing to do. You get no reward for it and no punishment for failing to do it, but it causes hardship for others. So, if you won't put in the minimal effort to do the right thing simply to reduce the hardship someone else might face, you're probably not a good person. And if you're the kind of person who dumps the shopping cart in the handicap space, you're human garbage, and I hope you step in water while wearing socks, then step on Legos after removing the wet socks. How they treat animals. Lack of empathy when something bad happens. I think if someone is often unreasonable, it's a sign they lack empathy and have a hard time thinking about things unrelated to themselves. They disappoint you frequently and don't do what they say they will do. They take pride in being an AH. Bonus points if they ever say I don't have a filter. It's code for I'm an AH and I don't care who I hurt, so prepare for offense. If you call me out, I'll try to gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. When no matter the situation they are always the victim. Are having no empathy for anyone else or simply just not caring about anybody else but themselves. How they speak about animals or treat them. I have a coworker who said if a dog touched her she'd kick it in the teeth, was very smug while saying it. Disturbed me. This thread really brought out the psychos. Good lord, some of the responses. Sets boundaries in your relationship but only expects you to follow them. You can't talk about this to me, talks about that to you constantly. How they treat the people closest to them. How they treat disabled people, people who are different, and people who disagree with them. Narcissist personality. People who use their mental illness as an excuse to hurt others. They don't like animals. The only way they feel good about themselves is when they put other people down. Inability to be happy for any win someone else has. Downplaying the win. Simultaneously being jealous of what others have that you think you deserve. Also the inability to say sorry or admit what you did was wrong. When they go along with an idea, when the idea is factually and provably incorrect, just because it's easier and they don't care who it hurts. Lack of humility, incapable of ever admitting they screwed up and taking responsibility for it. I look into the mirror and suddenly remember all the fucked up things I need to do merely to make it through the day. They beat up their SO. If they insult you with their sarcastic comments and then pretend it was just a joke. I observe how a person talks about other people behind their backs. Because that's how they talk about you, behind your back. My religious uncle once said if I didn't believe in God, I'd be out raping and killing and doing whatever I wanted when I told him I'm atheist. Uncle, you're just a bad person afraid of eternal punishment. They use Reddit. Littering. They are too perfect to everyone else. How they treat customer service